So today I want to talk about something that I have been thinking a lot about in the last 2 years. It is the Saturn Return, the infamous, terrible, scary late 20s experience that we all go through. Well, it could either be really tough or really great, but it's definitely a transformative period in one's life. I am currently going through my Saturn return, and I see a lot of videos online that talk about the aftermath of the Saturn return and what people learned, or people are getting ready to go into it, but I'm literally in it right now, and I figured this is such a pivotal time in my life. I think it's probably a good idea to just vlog the rest of my Saturn return, because I have a 5-planet stellium in Capricorn. I know that's a lot, but a lot of people have this stellium if they were born around the year 1990. So Saturn is currently in Capricorn. So Saturn was in this position when I was born, and now that Saturn is back, I'm feeling all the crazy effects of all the energy that this planet can bring into one's life. So that's why it's the 27 club is so infamous, because it's right on the cusp of your Saturn return. You're going into the biggest changes of your life, if not, well, one of the biggest periods of change in your life right before you turn 30. So that's usually why they say when you're 30, you're truly grown up and you feel like a true adult, and you start your 30s off strong because you had just finish the entire Saturn return that can just change your life and bring you to places you never thought you would arrive at, you know, with the person you were before your Saturn return. So I'm just talking like this right now because it really truly is just so crazy of a period of your life that I am just overwhelmed with how many changes, and I'm going to explain a bunch of stuff I've been going through the last few years. So, and I don't know if you're familiar with the Saturn return. I highly suggest looking at the channel called Listen to the Stars, or Kapil Raj's channel. He's a Vedic astrologer. I really like his whole take on astrology. There's a lot of really incredible channels to learn from. I am not an astrologer, so I don't know all of the background of everything, but I can definitely give you recommendations if you want to dive deeper into this topic. But if you're already there and you want to hear my take on my Saturn return, keep watching. So, my Saturn return started in December 2017, and it seriously started with a bang, okay? I had just gotten married in July of that year, which is also indicative of the Saturn return effects, basically, because that was right before my Saturn return I got married. So you know how you feel the effects of an eclipse a few days before the eclipse and even a few weeks after the eclipse? This is the same scenario. So I got married right on the cusp of my Saturn return. We moved into our apartment right around the wedding time. I went to Bali, discovered Vedic astrology, and that blew my mind and my freaking doors off just because there was so much knowledge that could be told with literally just my birth date and location. So that is what truly got me on the trajectory of having a really big interest in astrology. The astrology reading told me that I was gonna have a major career change around 2019. So once he told me that, I felt like, okay, I'm in for a lot of changes coming up. And then I just forgot about it, flew back home, honeymoon is over, we come home, and then everything initiated. The Saturn return started with a bang, with literally, it's so gross, exterminations in my house. And then, some personal issues that I don't even want to share with YouTube, but some shit went down with some immediate family members, and pretty big, as well as my car got vandalized while I was visiting some friends back at home, and it was just so intense because I had to get rid of my car, and it was basically initiating this whole process of letting go, surrendering, and this whole drastic life change that leads me to where I am today, 2 years later. I'll wrap the story up to just see why it was so important that that happened to my car back then, because it brought me to where I am now, which is a really, really good place. So Saturn Return can truly just knock you down and off your feet. It really messes with you psychologically. It changes your body. It changes all your friendships, relationship dynamics, your complete mindset towards responsibility, because Saturn represents a planet of responsibility and growing up and an emphasis on time. It's not like you're running out of time, but it's usually around the moment when we get very serious about our goals, our career, who we hang out with, what we invest our time in, and what dreams we're actually pursuing, and even who we're dating and what relationships we're in. So in their Saturn return, sometimes people get a divorce, they get married, they have a baby, major career change, or they leave the country. It's always something big like that, right around 30. So I got married when I was 27. That's when all those planets in Capricorn hit my chart very strongly. And during that time, it's a little bit deeper on another level of Vedic astrology. I was actually entering my K2 sub-period, and K2 represents the south node of the moon. So that was a period of deep reflection for me. I got extremely spiritual. I actually became involved with a new church here in LA. My husband and I became leaders in the church. Not leaders, but we were being mentored by leaders to learn how to teach small groups. And at the same time, my passion for yoga started enhancing. So I found a yoga program, signed up for that. And at the same time, I was also working a really pretty stressful studio job. I was working at 3 different TV film studios in Hollywood, and that was really taxing, just based on it affected my personality, my interest. Like, I wasn't able to be my true self there. I had to basically play this part and be the right hand to the senior vice president. So I had to be very on, very meticulous, very detailed, and very put together at all times, because there's a high level of responsibility when you have a job like that. So it was very Saturnian to have a career like that during this time in my life, as well as building my home, getting married, getting passionate about interior design out of nowhere, and then getting randomly passionate about minimalism. So this K2 sub-period that's represented in Vedic astrology was really enhanced during this time, because my K2, my south node in Western astrology, same thing. My K2 period was activated. So it made me very spiritual, very detached, and very introspective. I just wanted to be alone. I was very hermit. I very much wanted to just be in my own zone, do a lot of yoga, do a lot of meditation, a lot of reading, and I never wanted to leave the house or see anybody. So it was just very interesting that out of nowhere I wanted to become this yogi who wanted to literally go move to India, study yoga, go meditate in the Himalayas, you know, like that whole I want to become a monk phase, as we do in one's life. That was happening to me, and it was just really unpredictable, and I literally had zero desire anymore for fashion, for almost all meat products. I still kind of do the 80-20 rule, but it was a complete revamp on my nutrition, my fashion, my friends. Got rid of my car, went minimal. I saved about 80 to 90% of my income. I became extremely frugal, and then I became extremely obsessed with my home life. I feng shuied my house. Just so much happened within that 1 year, 2017 to 2018. But woo, let me take a drink, because you see I'm getting like just so revved up just talking about Saturn. Woo! I'm making this video because I don't feel like people are talking about it enough and showing the emotion about how intense it can be. People are just like, yeah, Saturn returns crazy, and then like video ends, but this is my real experience, okay? All this crazy stuff is happening, all these new interests, as well as disinterest in so many things. I didn't have a TV for that entire 2 years. Didn't watch any shows, didn't watch any movies. I was very culturally unaware of everything that was going on in the world. So I do my yoga certification, and then that deeply changes me in the way my mind operates. I adopted more of a yogic lifestyle and wanted to truly just get in as much alignment as I could possibly get in terms of self-care, self-love, living my truth to the fullest. that was definitely a result of the Saturn return, but also a big result of the K2 South Node period I was in. It really just brought me to the realness of who I came here to be. Because, you know, we spend a lot of our life being who we're not. We're very conditioned by society to kind of just act the part, walk the walk, just be who everyone wants you to be, or who they tell you to be, or who you see on TV or in movies. But yet, sometimes who we truly are, there's no examples out there of who that is, because you are the only one like you. But in the real world, like off camera or the internet, it's so hard to find people who are into topics like Eastern philosophy, yogic lifestyle, Ayurveda, integrative nutrition, numerology, astrology, esoteric sciences, metaphysics, that whole thing. I'm so into all of that. And it's probably my Aquarius rising and my Aquarius sun. But the Saturn return, what I'm trying to say is that it brought me to who I truly, truly am and needed to be. And I didn't know who I was for a long time. I spent a lot of time on vision boards, a lot of time on journaling, a lot of traveling, and just trying to figure out, what am I here for? And Saturn can be a really scary energy on your life, because it really makes you shed everything, all the conditioning, everything that you ever thought you were. You become like a brand new person, and that can be a really scary process. That's like dark night of the soul stuff, or you know those memes where it shows people what healing looks like, what it's actually like. It's like an experience like that. And I know a lot of my friends are going through tough times, breakups, and just total career moves, which totally brings me to kind of the end of my Saturn return and my experience. So I can relate to just letting go of everything that's not going to bring you towards your perfect aligned path. And I did that this year in 2019. After I went minimal, I just got rid of everything in my environment that wasn't serving me, or Marie Kondoing. And then I got rid of my car, and now I just take public transit and I do the train. And even that's so crazy. I never would have imagined that I would be on foot and not have a car in LA, but it's totally working for me. I haven't had a car in almost 9 months, and just that alone is giving me so much freedom. I've probably saved about $4,000 or $5,000 on car expenses that I did not have to stress about having a career that I did not enjoy to pay for that car. My rent is fairly low, so oh, and so is my phone bill. It's on a family plan. So I've basically optimized all, oh, so hot in here, all of my finances to be able to create freedom for myself. And so my battery turned off mid-story, but it was actually good. I was so hot. Had to put up the hair, refresh a little bit, but it's like, where was I? Saturn was bringing me back to my truth. And this summer, I left my job, I got back into acting, built an entire acting profile and made a reel, and actually started booking commercials, did a short student film, did an audition for a TV show, a feature film, and a community theater show, and two musicals actually. So I've been going on a lot of auditions, just getting myself back into the game, just getting comfortable with it. And that's something that I probably wouldn't have done if it wasn't for this awakening and this hardcore just putting me in the right path, in the right lane, which is what Saturn does to us all. I'm trying to fuse an entire lifestyle, doing all the things I love unapologetically. Like, even if I don't make money, I just want to do everything that brings me joy, which is very, very appropriate in this era of, if it doesn't spark joy, get rid of it. So I'm literally still in the process of just getting rid of things that aren't worth my time, aren't gonna lead to the type of life that I want later, just in the long run. So if you're dealing with anything in your life and you aren't in your Saturn return, but you know that this is not the right path. You know you're not gonna wanna be here 5 years from now, and you know that you don't want your boss's job, or just stuff like that. Just try your best to harness the energy that Saturn symbolizes, to not waste your time or your life on things that don't feel good. So that was the biggest blessing that I've gained from going through this whole process. And now my health is better. I've lost weight. I don't have restless nights and sleep and racing thoughts and anxiety and breathing problems and all the stuff and that pressure and that tension and the drama of the beginning of the Saturn return is definitely eased up on me. It's not fully over, because now I've taken this huge leap of faith this summer in 2019, and who knows where this is going to lead me. And that's a big reason on why I wanted to shoot this Saturn return video, because it's something I want to look back on a year from now or a couple years from now and just see how far I've come and see where this whole period of uncertainty in my life takes me. Because I don't know what I'm doing, I don't know what's happening, but I'm just doing things that I truly love to do, which is help people, guide them with their journey and their wellness and lifestyle, as well as just perform and be who I truly am. So big lessons so far, the Saturn return, but I can say that I've transformed into an adult. I feel I'm very close to feeling like a full-blown grown-up, because they say you truly feel it at 30, and I'm gonna be 30 in February, so it's coming. I'm excited for it. I'm excited for all the maturity that this process has given me, and the responsibility and the work ethic, because before all of this I would have put things off or just said, oh, someday or in another lifetime, maybe not in this lifetime, maybe meh. But now there's this whole vibe of, if I want it, I seriously have to get it at all costs, and I seriously have to create the reality that I want, because there's so much agency and freedom in this new mindset that it gives you, where you realize you're not gonna live forever. Every day you should be living your dream life, and Saturn will help you figure out how to get it. And if that means blowing your life up and putting a bunch of bugs in your house and making you move and get married and get rid of your car and quit your job and all these crazy things, that's what's necessary for you to create space to feel the truth of what the true path needs to be for you. And I still don't know what my path is, so I'm just trying to say this raw presently, and I'm not talking about my Saturn return in retrospect. It's literally still happening, and we will see where I go with this process. Who knows, maybe this performing arts thing will be fleeting and it's just a passing wave of interest, and that's great too, because I have the freedom to explore it. And there was no freedom to explore any of the things that I was interested when I had my full-time job, because society told me I needed a full-time job and I needed to make a certain amount of money because I wanted to create a certain type of lifestyle and buy a certain type of car and house. And I was so attached to all these things that I was conditioned to believe that I needed, and that I needed to do because I had a certain level of education that could give me that. But when I just threw it all out the window and I said, just because I have this degree doesn't mean I need to use it. Just because I have all of this background in entertainment and the corporate world, don't need to use it. There's no shame in giving up and starting over. And that's what I've done, and it's brought me so much freedom and happiness. I cannot express it enough. And we will see where it all takes me, and I'm gonna have fun in the meantime. I'm gonna make a few videos in this series all the way until the end of the Saturn return, which is March 2020. So join me, come along the process and the journey, and let's see who I become by the time this is over. I'm gonna feel like a whole new woman. And share your experience with me. I want to know what everyone's going through in the stellium of Capricorn that's happening to all these people born in the early 1990s. It's a fun, wild experience, and I really want to share it with people. So please comment below, tell me all the craziness that you're going through, and share your story as well. I want to hear what's happening during your return, and we can talk about it after and what we've learned. So thanks for watching. I'll be sharing more videos based on lifestyle mixed with astrology and archetypes and the whole journey of life as well, because I think this stuff is really interesting to talk about. about. If you haven't hit the like button, please do. If you like this video and want to see more like it, and please subscribe to this channel. I've actually never said that in a video. I'm gonna start doing that because I'm taking this for real, because I'm serious in the Saturn Return about bringing all my passions into one platform, which is my new reboot of this channel. So thank you so much. I'm Yvonne Heavenly. Thanks for watching.